Hi everyone, my name is Assumpta and welcome to Ave Creations TV, a home for busy professionals and entrepreneurs who want to plan a timeless, sophisticated and unforgettable wedding celebration or special event. Welcome, welcome, welcome. In today's video, we have a special guest, Olivia from Nulyweds. She plans amazing destination weddings filled with colour, and she is fantastic at what she does, but I'll let her tell you a bit more about that. Welcome you and welcome Olivia.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your channel. Excited to talk about small weddings today.
As the title suggests, today we are talking about big versus small weddings. And so I'm going to be rooting for the larger weddings and Olivia is going to be talking about smaller weddings. Full disclosure, if I had the opportunity, I would have had a smaller wedding. And small and large are all relative terms. For some people, a small wedding is 120, and for other people, 120 is quite large. I don't think I've ever shared, but for our wedding, we had over 350 at one and 450 at the other. So those were very, very large. Wow. This is why I think that I'm in a good position to be able to tell you about large weddings, and the weddings that Olivia works on tend to be smaller. What kind of size do you work on, Olivia?
So the average for our clientele is around 50 guests or so, but it's generally a range between 10 guests and around 70. So the average falls between 40 to 50 guests.
Oh wow, I don't think I've ever worked on a wedding that small. That's small to me, but yeah, I love intimate weddings as well. So I'm ready to duke this out with you, and we are going to begin with our first point on small weddings.
Wonderful. So first, I just want to get the obvious stuff out of the way. Of course, it's going to save you a little bit of money to have less guests, less people to pay for. And you also have more time with people because there are just less people in the room. So the 3 points that I'm going to cover today are going to be ones that you may not have thought of. So my first point is that you can venture a little further with a small guest list. And what I mean by this is whether you have a destination wedding or even if you have a home wedding, there are some really unique venues that are off of the beaten track. They're deep into the Scottish Highlands. They are in the countryside in France. And if you have a smaller guest list, it's much easier logistically to get everyone there and to take them all home afterwards. So it's a really good pro to have a small guest list if you want one of those unique secret venues in the middle of nowhere.
Okay, yeah, that's a fair point. I concede that. Although there are some awesome big venues, well, lots of awesome big venues, and that leads me on to my first point, is that yes, obviously a bigger wedding costs you more. We'll skip all of those. But my first point is that a large venue usually means, or rather a larger wedding usually means a larger space, and therefore you can do loads of things with it and have lots of different elements. If you want to infuse different styles of design into the big space, you can do, and your guests don't feel claustrophobic. It gives you a lot of room to play with. Yes, it will cost you more money, but you can do some wonderful over-the-top things with large spaces if that's your style.
That's a great point. That is a great point. And there are some really gorgeous places that will have a higher minimum as well. So just to be able to rent the space, you need to have over 100 guests. So, you know, that is a factor at play here. My second point is to do with the personalization of the wedding. So this takes a little bit of explanation, but sometimes you want to make the wedding super special for all of your guests as well. And my couples have wanted to do this in lots of different ways. For example, we have a groom who wants to handwrite all of the favors. He wants to handwrite a note to every single person at the wedding, just with a memory or some sort of inside joke that he remembers about them. And it will make them feel so very special. Imagine doing that for 300 people. If you have a small guest list, then you can personalize the experience to your small guest list much, much easier. This can come into factors with like music, for example, if you're asking for everyone to give music or song requests as well. So many ways of personalizing. So yeah, that's my point.
Okay, yeah, that one I totally agree with because when you're working on things for 300, 350, 400 people, that level of personalization, it's not that it's not possible. You would have to start months and months in advance. And plus, when you do have weddings of that size, usually it's a lot of like parents, friends and stuff like that. And you're probably not going to write them a personal note. Well, you might do, but it would just be like, thank you for coming. So yeah, I like that one. I get you. So my next point is that you don't offend anybody. You can literally invite whoever when you have a larger wedding, and that's not to say you should invite everybody, because I don't believe in just inviting people for the sake of it, but it means that you spend less time agonizing over your guest list and trying to cut people and cut even more, which sometimes you need to do if you've fallen in love with a tiny space and you want a really intimate wedding. It means you can only have like 20, 30, 40 or 50 people there, so you're going to end up offending some friends and family. But with a larger wedding, that doesn't happen. You can just invite them and everybody is happy and fine.
That's so true. You won't hurt many feelings if you have a large wedding and everyone could come. That's a very good point. I will accept that. That's true. But with all of those people, my third point is that with a large wedding, you have very split memories. Again, walk with me here. It takes a bit of explanation. But if you have a huge wedding, like 300 plus, etc., everyone will have had everyone will have been split into kind of little groups, and they will have their own memories of that day. They will create their own memories of that day. They will see different things. They will experience different things. They'll have a different perspective of your wedding day. When you have a small guest list, it's more like you have a big shared memory. Everyone will remember the same things. They'll see the same things. They'll be together more. And it will be more of an interactive experience where everyone will have the same special memories of your wedding day. I know that one of my very, very ex-boyfriends went to a wedding with 1,000 people. And his experience of the wedding was completely different to all of the other 1,000 people, because he was having his own interior experience with a group of people that he was with. If you're with a smaller wedding party, then everyone experiences everything together. It's a shared memory. Yeah, I thought that was a weird point, but I like it.
No, that I hadn't actually thought about it in that way, so I do really like that point. However, I guess my final point kind of counters that, or is in the similar vein to it. So my final point is the memory. You know, you get to have this epic big party with all of your loved ones in the same space. Everybody that you want to be there is there. But now taking into consideration what you've just said, I kind of like the idea that people would have different memories, because as I said, our wedding was larger. So when I did speak to different people about the wedding and what they loved the most, I was getting different takes on it, which I found really fun personally. But I do understand why having one shared memory would be quite epic as well. But yeah, my final point for a big wedding would be that you get this awesome, massive party with all of your loved ones. So yeah.
Yeah, fair. I think that also depends on the type of person that you are, though. Like, I want like 12 people at my wedding. I can count my family members on my hand. So I just don't want that many people around me for my own wedding, personally, because I'm not a big party person. I prefer kind of small things, small intimate things. I'm much more of a one-on-one kind of person. So I think it just depends on your personality at the end of the day. If you are a big party person, then yes, absolutely go for a big wedding because it will be the time of your life. But if you are someone a little bit more shy, I'm not shy, but you know what I mean, like me, then you might want something a bit more intimate and one-to-one with everyone. So yeah.
No, I completely understand, and I will leave it to you guys to let us know in the comments whether you prefer larger weddings or more intimate. Please, if you haven't subscribed yet, if you're new around here, and even if you're not, if you've come back, you should hit that subscribe button, and if you like this video, then like it. And I will leave all of Olivia's details in the description, but just in case, please, Olivia, tell us where they can find you.
Yeah, so you can find me at Nulyweds, that's Nullyweds, on Instagram, on Facebook, and here on YouTube too. We did a video on Monday, which released on Monday, so go and check that one out. It's all about home weddings versus destination weddings. You should definitely give that one a watch.
Yep. Please do go and watch that video, and also check out all the rest of Olivia's videos. She has fantastic tips on planning destination weddings, but they're not just applicable to destination weddings. You can use those tips wherever you are. So make sure you subscribe to her too and have a peruse of her channel, and I will catch you next time. Thank you to Olivia from Nulyweds for joining us today, and we'll see you in our next videos.
Bye.